Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide to cover swathing and the MacDon pack. So this video, again, going to cover swathing, how to do it, and how to use the different modded equipment in the future as well. So if there's going to be future equipment that comes out on ModHub, which I'm sure there will be, that'll do swathing with just different types of equipment, different pieces of equipment, the same structure and function should all be the same as this video. This video also applies to things for all platforms. So if you're playing on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, I'm on PC, but this is all base game stuff, nothing crazy in here that I'm using, and it is all available to you. So everything that I'm doing here is going to apply to all platforms. And also as well, if you're looking for something specific, down below along the YouTube slider bar, there'll be different time codes for different parts of this video if you're looking for something specific. And this is not a guide to growing crops as well, I should note that. This is a guide to how to swath them. I will do a separate video on how to grow different grain style crops and things like that, but this is just a video on how to swath them, which is a type of harvesting. So what is swathing? As I mentioned, it is a type of harvesting specific crops. You can only swath certain crops in game. You can swath barley, wheat, oats, canola, and soybeans, and we have some wheat here, which we are going to swath as well. So first, you use the swather to swath the crop, then you go over it with a harvester with a special header to actually get the grain. So instead of just using a regular harvester like this with the regular grain header and getting it, you have to go over it twice, once with the swather and once with that special header over there, which I'll show you. So you might ask, well, if it's an extra step like that, why would you even bother doing it? Well, I have heard you get a yield bonus of about 25% from other content creators who have tested it, but we are also going to run a test on this field in this video to actually see what the yield bonus is approximately. So the yield bonus will be the same across the platform. They're not going to program a different yield bonus for soybeans versus barley versus wheat versus oats. So I'm not going to test all the crops. I'm just going to test wheat because wheat has a fairly high yield as a fairly common crop. So anyhow, moving on from there, what is in the MacDon pack? There's quite a few things. Let's go in the store here. If I go down here, I can take a look at the different things. Now, they will be spread out in the store in various areas in here, but I can just go in here to show you the 5 things in the MacDon pack. So first off, we obviously have the swather itself. You can do a different engine configuration if you'd like to have less horsepower. I'd really recommend the higher horsepower engine just to make it easier to do your work. And there's also, of course, some tire configurations and license plate you can adjust to that. If we hop out of there, we have a couple headers that go with this guy. So we have this guy right here. This is the swathing header. So you can see it's going to take the grain, cut it, and set it out the back, which I'll show you guys here in a bit. That is going to attach to this. And again, if you hit combinations down here, it'll give you those two guys down here that it's going to attach to. So you have this guy, and then also this. This is the mowing attachment here, which is going to mow grass, wheat, barley, oats, canola, and soybeans. And I'll talk about what all that means and what that does later on. And then it has 2 other headers in the pack. This one is just a standard grain header. It'll harvest all these crops the standard way. So if you wanted the MacDon branded header, you have it right there. Pretty straightforward. This is the special pickup header. You can put this on any harvester. So any one of these harvesters you can see with combinations, it's going to work great with. You can put it on any harvester, and this is how you're going to pick up your different swaths, which are shown down here. So again, you have wheat, barley, oats, canola, and soybean, which are the ones that you're going to be able to swath. This does not attach to this. These do not go together. This goes on a regular harvester. This attaches to these two, and then these two go on regular harvesters. But I'm going to show you how to use all of this equipment as well. Now, first off, I want to go over kind of some frequently asked questions. So these are kind of the things that I get a lot when people ask about swathing. Is a crop swath different than straw? So normally on a field, when you harvest, you might get like a straw swath when you do like wheat, barley, or oats, for example. A crop swath is different. It is not a straw swath. Crop swath is different than a straw swath. And I can show you that as well. If we actually go down here to the help menu, they have all the icons in here. So if I show you, this is what the symbol is for straw. That's all great. And I think it's going to be under, well, maybe under others. Let's see where it's at. Actually, I should have probably checked this ahead of time, but I didn't even think about it. Oh, it may not even be under here if it's not under here. But anyhow, I can show you in the store real quick. So you saw the icon for straw. These are the various icons for the various crop swaths, which are all different. So you have the wheat crop swath, the barley crop swath, the oat crop swath, the canola crop swath, and the soy crop swath. So those are the crop swaths. So they are different. Can you collect a crop swath with a forage wagon or baler? So not straw. You obviously can pick up straw with a baler or forage wagon, but the question I'm asking is, can you pick up these, the crop swaths, with a forage wagon or baler? You cannot, and I'll show you that as well in this. So also too, you might ask, how do you get the MacDon pack? If you want to do swathing day 1, I recommend pre-ordering the game, which you can still do when this comes out, because this will come out a little bit early for the game. The game comes out November 12th, so the game's already out. You may have to purchase the MacDon pack from the mod hub if you want to use it, or wait for mods to do swathing. So just be aware of that, but it is a pre-order bonus if you pre-order the game. And then also, can you use an AI worker to swath? So can you have an AI worker run this guy with this header to swath the field for you? Yes, AI workers will do that. Can you have an AI worker pick up the crop swath to get the crops? So that's the AI worker. Can it pick up these guys with this header. No, it cannot. But there is a way to make it easier for you with GPS, which I can show you as well. So do you still get straw when you swath wheat, barley, and oats? So normally when you harvest wheat, barley, and oats, you're going to get straw that's going to come out the back of the harvester, which again is different than the crop swath. Do you still get that if you go crop swathing? You can, yes. So when you are actually using, we have the special pickup header over here that picks up the crop swath. So when you take the swather itself with this header and you swath this whole field and it leaves the crop swath down, then you go over it with this pickup header to get the grain out of it, you can still have a straw swath come out the back, and I'll demonstrate that. That's one of the reasons why I chose wheat as well. And so what can this mower header do? Because this is kind of different than crop swathing, but it is part of the MacDon pack, so I want to talk about it as well, so you know how to use it as well. So what does that do? Well, I'll show you that over here. So that right there, if we go back in the store real quick, this shows grass, wheat, barley, oats, canola, and soybeans. So what does this actually do to those crops? Well, I can tell you for one, you can't mow them with this header until they're completely ready to harvest. But if I go over it, and I already tested this and picked them all up individually. So if I turn this on, lower it down, and I have wheat right here. So if I go over the wheat, it's going to leave straw, regular straw, not a crop swath. If I go over barley, same thing. If I go over oats, same thing. If I go over canola, same thing. It's going to leave just swath. If I go over grass, it's going to leave regular grass. Then if I go over soybeans, it's just going to leave regular straw. So for all those other crops, for the wheat, barley, oats, canola, and soybean, it's just going to leave regular straw, not crop swaths. Regular straw is going to be left with those, and then grass will leave regular grass, and then you can do whatever you'd like with it. So this is probably not super helpful to cut the other crops because you probably want to get the grain out of them. There's not really a reason to do that unless you're desperate for straw. And I don't even know if you'll get more straw out of it yet. I haven't really tested that and gone into that too far in depth. But this would be a great setup to do some mowing if you wanted to. If you already had swathing going and you wanted to buy the header, because you can switch out these headers, obviously, that would help you do that a little bit. But now let's go ahead and move on here. So I want to show off some swathing stuff for you guys here, which is why you're probably here. So let's get into that. So first off, if I buy the swather at the store, I'm going to walk over here to the store to pick it up. I didn't bring it over here to set it up for a reason. When you buy it at the store, it comes in this standard configuration, and here's the swathing head here. Now, a really cool part about this, when you have that trailer, so this, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, I can hit left shift B to change driving direction, which, oh, I got to start the engine first. There we go. Left shift B will change my driving direction. So essentially now when I drive forward, I'm going quote unquote backwards with the machine. The reason for this is I can back up to the header here, the header trailer, hook up to it. Oops, maybe. There we go. And I can now drive down the road, and this is easier because I'm using front steer to drive down the road, as opposed to doing it the other way. Now, sure, you could hook it up to the front of this, and then you could drag it around backwards down the road, but this makes it a lot easier for traveling to where you're going to go to do the swathing, which is what we're doing right now. Now, if I unhook that, great. Now I can change driving direction back by hitting left shift B. It'll flip me around, so I'm in the direction I want to be for swathing, and now backwards is backwards again, and forwards is forwards again. And I can drive up to the side of this right here, and I will get a Q to attach it. Hit Q, and then I'm going to hit X, which is going to fold up those wheels so they're out of my way. And the other thing, if you look up in the upper left-hand corner, it says Control Group. If I hit G, it'll switch me over to my harvester, and I can unfold that as well. This is not a requirement. It does make the rear stance a little bit wider, which might make it a little bit more stable when you are harvesting. But anyhow, if I hit V to lower this and B to turn it on, and I start rocking and rolling over this wheat, it's going to start leaving a crop swath. Again, that is not, I'm going to hire a worker to keep going with this. He might take a second to figure out what he wants to do there, but this is a crop swath. So if I grab, we just tab over to it, it'll be a little bit quicker. If I grab this guy with the forage wagon, I'm not going to be able to pick that up. Straw over there can pick it up just fine, the forage wagon. Not going to be able to pick it up. There he goes. He's getting going now again. So I hit V, lower this down and pick it up. Nothing. I can't pick it up. Can't bale it. Can't pick it up. It's a crop swath. It is not straw. It's different than a crop swath. Again, I know it's a little confusing because we're so used to just having straw, and it seems like it should be straw, but it is not. And I can turn that off. And now, what I can do, hop in this guy, start the engine up, and now up in the upper left-hand corner, it says Enable Straw Swath. I'm going to do that because as part of my test, I'm going to see how much straw we get from doing the crop swath and how much straw we get from harvesting regularly to see if there's any difference in the straw. So now when I come up to it, I hit V to lower it down, and B to turn it on. And as I start going over that, it's going to start picking it up. And then you see I have wheat in my tank, and then straw is going to start coming out the back. Yes, that is straw this time. Straw. That is straw. If I grab the forage wagon, or this guy right here, and I go over here and pick it up with the forage wagon, I'm going to get straw in the back of this, and I'll show that real quick. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to collect it all anyways, but if we lower that down and start picking it up, there we go. We have straw in there. Fine and dandy. I'm going to pull this guy out of the way so he doesn't get in the way of me or the worker. And now let's get back over to our swather here. Make sure he's doing good. Get back over to our combine header, which is fantastic. And then I'm going to start working this. Now, I did say I'd show you how to do this with GPS. Now, that swathing header is 12.2 meters. So I know he's working this field with 12.2 meters, and I know he's only going to do one headland. So if I hit H to hold this down, go in here, I'm going to go switch over to steering assist. The AI worker is not going to do anything. It's not going to show anything because it doesn't want to do that work with that. I'm going to lower this down to 1 because of the field we're on. And I'm going to change this up to 12.2, which this might take a little bit to actually get up to 12.2 because you have to do it up in increments of 0.1 meters. But when you get up to 12.2, you'll see what I mean here. Oop, 12.2 there. And I'm going to show lines so we can see them. Hit OK. And now we have the lines. If I hit H to attach to that, this should work most of the time. Now I am just going forward, and the GPS is following that line. So as long as you set it to the same width as the header of the MacDon pack, you should pick it up. And actually, it's doing pretty good. It hasn't missed anything yet, which is really nice. And then I can turn here. I have to turn automatically here. If I hit H to lock onto that, I can keep going, hit cruise control, and it'll keep swathing. I can see I missed a little bit there, so I'm going to go back and get that because I want to make sure I get all of it for our test, to make sure our test is accurate. So there we go. And then I can hit 3 to keep going on that. I will probably end up driving it. You can see it's a little bit off, so it's not perfect, but it does make it so it is possible in general to do it with GPS if you wanted to, since you can't use a worker to do it. But what I'd recommend is just have him do it, and then you start working on this while he's working on that. Easy peasy. And if you don't want straw, you can also disable the straw swath just like you can on a regular harvester. Let's get that little bit there. There we go. I want to make sure we get every bit of wheat off of this field for our testing purposes. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to harvest this the rest of the way. I'm going to get all the swath picked up and all that good stuff and not miss any. And then I will bring you back in after I load in the game again. So this field harvested, I have the game saved there. So I'm going to record what my results are here, exit out of the game, and then load back in, and then do the test again. So I'm going to run my test, and I'll bring you guys back in at the end. All right, the test is complete. So I'm glad I tested the straw because the results were as expected and then also not as expected. So when I harvested it with a regular harvester, so I use the MacDon header because it doesn't matter. Any header will do. I use the regular header, but harvesting at the regular method, I got 8,563 liters of wheat on this field. And when I picked up the straw, I got, well, you can see here, if I go into here, I got 35,373 liters of wheat, or excuse me, of straw off this field. So that's what I got. Now, if I compare that to swathing, when I swathed it, I got 10,689 liters of wheat off the field, which is as expected. I expected to get more. That's 2,000. I mean, this is not a massive field. It's okay in size, but it's pretty small in general. Like, it's not crazy big compared to, I mean, like this field, but for just this amount here, I got 2,000 more liters, which is a couple extra grand if you're selling wheat off, or could be. And that difference between the harvesting and swathing, that's a 24.8% increase. So right about 25%. I think 25% is about an accurate number to think of. And then the crazy part here, which I did not expect, is the straw. When you swathed it and then you had straw come out the back and you picked the straw up, you got 44,190 liters of straw off the field, or about 10,000 liters more of straw compared to when harvesting the normal method. And that is a 24.9% increase. So also about a 25% increase. So not only do you get a 25% increase in yield, you also get a 25% increase in your straw that you get off the field. So pretty cool. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you know how to do swathing, and you might consider doing it based on the crazy results that we just got. So there you guys go. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel, and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.